Let's cut right to the chase. We're doing what's in my camera bag. Starting off with the vessel itself. This is the LowePro Pro Tactic BP 350 AW2. I don't really know how I got introduced to this bag. I must have seen it on somebody on YouTube and I absolutely fell in love with this thing. In terms of a bag, here's what I need. I need it to be spacious enough without looking too bulky. I need it to be somewhat protective. I need it to be somewhat water resistant, and I need it somewhat to be versatile. And this checks all those marks. It's got this strap over here so you can attach it to your carry-on. It's got all these things over here where you can add accessories just like this. There's a tripod holder. It's got a bit of a hard shell. I can access cameras on the side. And one thing I really like about it is back flap is what opens up as opposed to a typical backpack that opens from the front. Security reasons. Now, like you guys saw in the beginning, I have a tripod, little attachment here to have my tripod. Obviously, it's not here because I'm using my tripod. Out here with all these little strap thingies, I have no idea what these are called. If you know what they're called, feel free to comment down below. That's where I keep all of my, this video is just doing great. My camera holsters. These are from a company called Spider Holster. This is what I attach to my belts in order to carry my cameras. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, why don't you use a shoulder harness or a back harness, whatever you call them. Been there, done that. I've had a ton of those. I don't enjoy them. I don't like my cameras dangling. These keep the cameras close and tight to my hip, not dangling. No lenses are getting hit on anything. I just prefer these. These also save my back, and that's important. Let's dive in to the bag. So in the camera bag itself, I usually keep two camera bodies, one of which I'm using now, and the other, which is in here and always attached to the 70-200 f2.8 from Canon. And all the cameras I use are the Canon EOS R5. It's a great camera for professionals. I've always loved Canon, and that's why I decided to stick with Canon. I love their color science, I love their menus, and I've always had good experiences working with Canon, so I'm sticking with Canon. On a typical wedding day, we would have 4 camera bodies, 2 for each photographer, so 2 photographers, 2 cameras each, that's 4 cameras. They're all EOS R5s. They all get a CF Express card and an SD card. So in this bag, I've only got 2 bodies, whereas the other 2 bodies stay in the Pelican case, and that's a video for another day. Moving on. The 28-70, this is actually the lens that always sticks on the camera that's currently filming. I absolutely love this lens. This lens is an f2 aperture, extremely versatile, 28-70, extremely helpful. I just happen to be a zoom guy. I think it's better to catch the shot rather than being too preoccupied on what your focal length is. Prime lenses are definitely sharper. I will not doubt that, but I'll always prioritize getting the shot versus not having the right focal length. So 28-70. Moving on. I've got the 85 f1.2. This thing, love this lens. You have to really suck at being a photographer to make something not look good using this lens. Now this lens needs certain parameters in order for it to work. It's an 85, so obviously it might be a little bit difficult when you're indoors. You need quite a bit of space, but when space is not an issue, this lens makes everything look really good. Always stays in the bag. The last lens that's in this bag that I'm actually using right now to film this is the Canon RF 15-35mm f2.8. It's an awesome lens. It's really helpful sometimes to get that really wide angle and be able to have that 35. Moving on to this pocket. In this pocket, that's where I keep all my charged and full batteries. It's important to keep track of what's charged and not charged. That way you don't fumble and put a dead battery inside of your camera by accident. All of my charged batteries go into the top portion, whereas dead batteries go to the bottom pocket. I also have this little case over here from Bauer. This is a water resistant case to hold SD cards, so I've got a couple in there. Got to make sure you're protecting your SD cards, that way you don't lose them and they don't get damaged. So this is basically a little mini Pelican case. On this flap, we have a little section over here to carry an iPad. Why am I carrying an iPad? Well, sneak peeks. I actually like to show my couples a couple of sneak peeks at the end of their night. That way they've got something to keep them excited. It's the end of the night, they're exhausted, they're very excited to see their photos, and quenching them with a little bit of a sneak peek is always helpful. So that's why I keep the iPad in this. Now, if you noticed, I keep cameras, lenses, bodies, everything to make sure that my cameras are functioning in this backpack. This is my basic backpack. This is making sure that I can at least take photos. The Pelican case, however, is where I keep my lighting, my flashes, V-mount batteries, cables, and a lot more. If you guys would get excited over going through my Pelican case, let me know down in the comments below. This is the first video in getting this channel going. I'm extremely excited for 2025 and excited for the content that we're going to be making here. If you guys are interested in camera, tech, and everything in between, make sure you subscribe below, and I'll see you guys next time. I like it. Straight, concise, to the point.